Well, Game 7, Stanley Cup Final, coming on Monday. Panthers goaltender Sergei Bobrovsky not on the ice for practice. Just a day off, nothing injury-related. He knows what his job is. It's to stop the scoring on Monday night. And after scoring just 4 of the first 3 of the series, the Oilers have exploded. 18 goals in the last 3 games, and here we are. Joined now by Ray Ferraro. I've been looking forward to this conversation all day because I'm really interested in your perspective here. The 18-5 goal differential, games 4 through 6, it's pretty glaring, right, what's different. But from your vantage point down there on the ice, Ray, I'm interested in what has been most noticeably different between these two clubs from the first 3 games to the last 3 games.
Well, I would say, Scott, the biggest thing is that the Panthers play at their best, a very aggressive, a very in-your-face style of play. And when they got pumped 8-1 in Game 4, it really felt like they lost their nerve. The way that they have to play is to be physical, to forecheck, to get their defense up into the play. But I think they got spooked. And so now they're not quite as aggressive. They're kind of stuck in the middle. I think the biggest thing for 3 games is the Panthers don't look like the team that won the Eastern Conference Championship. They look like a team searching right now, and man, it's the wrong time of year to be searching.
That's well put. And yet, if you tell them at the start of the Stanley Cup playoff, June 24th, you got a Game 7 in your building and you win it, and you win the Stanley Cup, right? But you and I and everybody else knows the path that led to this Game 7. So I always say, Ray, be optimistic because it costs the same. I think it's hard to be optimistic right now if you're a Florida Panther because we all know how we got to this point. So knowing that this has all happened, knowing if you lose this game on Monday, you probably think this is never going to happen for us. How do you flush all that negativity and just focus on the opportunity that's in front of them?
Well, it's a big chore. I think the weight of history is a big deal. And the history is that only in 1942 has a team lost the first 3 games of a Stanley Cup championship and been able to come back and win. It's remarkable that it's never happened before because it's almost impossible to do. Yet the Panthers have played themselves backwards into this spot. And I think the biggest thing that the coaches talk about with the Panthers is we take a look in the mirror and we look, what can I do to be better than I was in Game 6? As much as it's a team game, it's an individual game first. And what I mean by that is I can't be the weakest link in the chain. And so you get to Game 7, and if 18 guys and the goaltender do their job, that's all you can ask. Because for the last 3 games, they haven't been even close. In Game 6, Alexander Barkov, their captain, was the only guy that could probably walk out of that rink and say, I had a good night. The rest of them was just not where they need to be.
Give me a guy not named Connor McDavid who needs to be great for Edmonton for them to win Game 7. I obviously take 97 and put him on a different place because he is on a different, he just exists on a different place. So not named McDavid, who needs to be great for Edmonton on Monday, Ray?
Well, Leon Draisaitl has had a really quiet series for the Oilers. He's got just 3 assists. He's one of the game's best players, and for some reason, this final series has not gone very well for him. He doesn't need 5 shots on goal to score. He needs 1. 1 power play goal might be the difference. He's the one guy that can be a difference maker that you kind of almost expect it's going to happen.
Florida, that's the last thought, Ray. And obviously Bobrovsky was great to start, not great lately, so he's got to be critical. But somebody outside of the keeper for Florida that you say, if this man's great, then they get their hands on the cup for the first time?
Well, I'm going to give you 3 because I think they're all lumped together, Scott, and that's Matthew Tkachuk, who has got 1 goal in the series, Carter Verhaeghe, who scored in Game 1 and has not scored since, and Sam Reinhart, who's got 1 goal in the series. And the reason I picked those 3, in the regular season, they scored over 100 goals combined. In this series, they got 3.
Wow.
You got to score. Those are the big boys, and they have to play tomorrow night.
That scene, Game 6 in Edmonton, was remarkable. It's on Florida to make their building feel every bit as intimidating as they can on Monday. Game 7, Stanley Cup Final. You can't ask for anything more, Ray. I appreciate your time, man. Look forward to watching.
Thanks, Scott. You have a great night.